his command. He pitched up fairly effectively tonight, but he just kind of lost it up even a little bit more. So, it happens, and they took advantage of it.
Other questions for Joe? Ken, get you the mic.
Joe, what did you think of Verlander compared to Game 2?
He was really good again. The thing in the two starts that we faced him, he hasn't been behind in counts, and he's thrown a ton of strikes. And I looked up at one point on the board, and he had faced like 13 or 14 hitters, and there was like 10 balls and 40-something strikes. I thought our at-bats were decent off him. We hit some balls hard off him. But again, he was ahead in the count and pitched really effectively.
Mark, right up front, Lucas.
Joe, you guys are 4-0 in elimination games. Another test tomorrow
Yeah.
night. What have you liked about what you guys have been able to do in those games, and as opposed to some of these others?
The way we've come out and the way we've bounced back in certain games. We've won all kind of different games. We've won some high-scoring games. We've won, I think, a 1-0. It's a situation that our guys have been in a lot. And I think you have to keep it, tonight's game in perspective. Hey, we still have a shot to do what we want to try to do tomorrow. And put tonight behind you and move on, and let's be ready to go tomorrow.
Susan?
When you look at Robertson and what he did, that's very surprising. You're not used to seeing that. Was there one particular thing that was wrong tonight?
No, I'm sure it just came down to location a little bit, Susan. He's a guy that relies on location a lot. And it looked like the pitch that he threw Altuve was a really good pitch. Altuve just did a really good job in beating.
John?
Joe, did you feel like the Sanchez at bat was a big moment in the game? You give him at the green light, 3-0.
Yeah, that was one, and I think the next inning we had first and second, nobody out, and Todd Frazier hits the ball 400 feet and gets nothing to show for it. Springer made a really nice play on it. Those two innings were the two innings that we had to capitalize, and we weren't able to do it.
Anything else for Joe? Andrew?
First off, Chad Green, you probably won't have tomorrow, would you?
No, I will have everybody else, though.
Okay. And then with CC, just in terms of your faith in him for Game 7.
Well, a lot. We've seen it so many times, and we're going to need him to come up big tomorrow. He's done it a couple different times in this playoffs during the course of the season, and it's something that I think he loves to do, is pitch in these type of situations, and we need him to come up big.
One last one for Joe. Andrew, and then CC Spathi is going to come in.
Joe, why do you think you guys have had such a disparity between hitting at Yankee Stadium against these guys and here?
Well, it's hard to say. Again, I thought our at-bats were better off of Verlander. We didn't really score anymore, but I thought our at-bats were better. It's hard to say. I think there's some comfort to being at home. I think more teams have a better home record than, an away record. That's just kind of the way baseball is.